Alright guys, welcome back, and we're about to look at the solution to those 9 questions that you got. And the first one that we're looking at is this, which has factorized completely x squared minus 7x minus 18. Now, first of all, you have to ensure that you check to see if it is in this form. Always check to see that it's in that form. Clearly, the expression is, so we know it's a quadratic based on the fact that the highest index is squared and there is no negative index present. So we know it's a quadratic expression. So from this, remember, 1 comes there. So the value of A is simply 1. The value of B is simply negative 7. Watch the sign in front of the number. And C is negative 18. Now, we're going to go to the rule just to make sure that we're going to break up this middle piece into the correct 2 pieces so we can factorize by grouping. And when we do that, we know we're going to end up with 4 pieces or 4 terms. And then by factorizing by grouping, this becomes pretty simple to do. So again, we know that B is equal to negative 7 and AC means A times C, which is 1 times negative 18. So I'm just going to do that. And that is going to give you negative 18. So all we need to do now is to just work through the factors of 18. And in doing that, I'm going to recommend that you do this. That will help. The factors of 18, 1 times 18 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 6 is 18. And 6 times 3 is 18. You're going to see that just going to start repeating. So all of these are factors of 18. So 1, 2, 3, 18, 9, and 6 are all factors of 18. And by doing it this way, it's better for you to see the combination, meaning which 2 numbers that we're going to break this into. All you have to make sure that you watch are the signs to determine whether it's negative or positive. So first of all, we need to look to see which 2 numbers, and we have the combinations already, so we just need to look carefully to see which combination is correct. But again, the sign is what matters, it's very important. So which 2 numbers when added together gives you negative 7, and when you multiply them you get negative 18. So that would simply be negative 9 and positive 2, because when you add negative 9 and positive 2 together, you're going to get negative 7. And then when you multiply positive or negative 9, you're going to get negative 18. So the 2 numbers that we're going to break up negative 7x into would be positive 2x and negative 9x. So therefore, I'm just going to write the expression. And instead of putting back the negative 7x, I'm going to break it up into 2x minus 9x minus 18. And then I'm going to proceed now to factorize by grouping. So what is common in these 2 terms? That would be x, and we would have x plus 2. And what is common in these 2 terms? That would be negative 9, and what we have in the bracket would be x plus 2. We have the same thing in the bracket, that's how we know we're on the right step. And our final answer would be, in one bracket we have x minus 9, and in the other bracket we have x plus 2. So when this quadratic expression is factorized, you should end up with these 2 brackets there. Very, very simple and straightforward. I'll have to just be careful with what you're doing. All right. So let's move on to the second question. And the second question is this. All right. Very, very simple as well. So the only difference is now they don't have x's involved, it's p, but the process is the same. So you're going to check first to see if it is in this form. Only difference is that there is no x, but it's still a quadratic expression because there's a square there and there's no index higher than square like cube or to the 4th index, and there's no negative index like p to the negative 1, etc. So from this now we're able to determine, again 1 should be here, what A is. B is negative 5, watch the sign, and C is negative 14. Always be very careful with the sign in front of a number. And again, B is equal to minus 5, and AC means A times C, which is 1 times negative 14, and that is going to give us negative 14. And remember, it's all about breaking up this middle piece. We need to find out which two terms that can be broken into. So all we're going to do here now is write the factors of 14. So 1 times 14 is 14, 2 times 7 is 14, and 3, not 3, 4, 5, no, we're going to go back to 7, 7 times 2, so we have all the factors here. So the 4 factors are 1, 2, 14, and 7. But by writing it this way, it's easier to determine the combinations, right? So my question is this now. Which two numbers, when you add together, you get negative 5, and when you multiply those two numbers, you get negative 14. So again, which of these two combinations here, when you add them together, you get negative 5, and when you multiply them together, you get negative 14, and that would simply be negative 7 and positive 2, because when you add negative 7 and positive 2, you're going to get negative 5, and when you multiply them, you're going to get negative 14. So I can rewrite this quadratic expression now, except now I'm not going to write back the minus 5p. I'm going to put plus 2p minus 7p. This is what is going to give me back the minus 5p and the minus 14. Now we can factorize by grouping. So what is common in these two terms? That would be p. So it's p plus 2. And what is common inside here is negative 7. A lot of you tend to forget the sign outside here, which makes it step around. So if this question is worth 2 marks and you leave off the sign here, you're only going to get 1 mark if your last step is correct. So avoid leaving off this sign. So we'd have p and then of course plus 2, because negative 7 times positive 2 is going to give you negative 14. So the final answer will be in one bracket p and negative 7, and in another bracket p plus 2. So that would be the answer to question 2 that you got. So it's very, very simple and very, very straightforward. So you just need to practice and get it going. Let's look at this question here, question 3. Now again, when there's no number here, then 1 goes there. So we're going to check to see if it is in this form. Remember again, it's just the x being removed and then putting m. So it's the same concept. Sorry, it should be m. So it's the same concept. So we know that a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 9, watch the sign, and c is equal to positive 8. So again, we know that b is equal to negative 9, and ac means 8 times c, which is 1 times 8, which is simply 8. And again, the secret is in here. So the factors of 8, 1 times 8 is 8, 2 times 4 is 8. So those will be the factors of 8. Now, we need to look at these combinations here, and we already have a setup that helps us a lot. So, which of those two numbers, when you add them together, you get negative 9, and when you multiply them together, you get positive 8, and that simply would be negative 1 and negative 8, because when you add negative 1 and negative 8, you are going to get negative 9, and when you multiply negative 1 and negative 8, you're going to get positive 8, which is what this is. All right? And that is actually the combination of product of A and C. So I'm going to rewrite this, except I'm not going to write negative 9m. I'm going to write minus 1m, which I could have written minus m, minus 8m, and positive 8. And then I'm going to proceed to factorize by grouping there. So if you look here, what is common in these two terms would be m. So I'm factoring out the m here. And we look here, minus 8 is common, so I would have m minus 1. Same thing in the bracket here, so good to go. So the final answer would be in one bracket, m minus 8, which is what I get from here, and in the other bracket, m minus 1. So that should have been your answer for question 3. Okay. All right, now I'm going to stop here and come back again with the solutions to the other questions in a minute. So I hope you found this video insightful. See you guys on the next video.